We're watching your six, folks. Stay ready, stay free. And when the world goes crazy, what should we do? Drink up, sing it fast. It's the Denton and Sasquatch show. Two voices you ought to know. From prepping tips to politics, they tell it straight. No tricks from Dixie to the Golden Coast. Freedom's what they love the most. Download the podcast, let the truth roll on the Denton and Sasquatch show. This place is half talk show, half weird daycare. I love it!
Hello, welcome once again to the Denton and Sasquatch Show, coming to you from California, Alabama, and Arizona. My name is Sasquatch. I live in California. His name is Denton. He lives in Alabama. And finally, we have Einor, who resides in Arizona. And somehow, through the wizardry we call the internet, we make it sound like we're in the exact same room. No Denton tonight. Sorry about that. But we do have Einor. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing great. How about you, sir?
Well, can't complain. I mean, last night we had some technical difficulties with my internet, so we're doing this on Saturday. And it's really weird because it's 4:09 p.m. right now, and I'm used to doing this later in the evening.
Yeah, well, hey, you take what you can get, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got my fingers crossed, my toes crossed, everything that my internet doesn't take a crap on us while we're doing this, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, we're doing better than we did yesterday. By now, in yesterday's show, we'd already lost each other twice. So.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Turn me down just a little bit. All right. This week's show is kind of one of our specialty shows. We're doing the show about cryptids. Now, if you don't know what a cryptid is an animal or creature whose existence is claimed to be rumored, but has never been proven or officially recognized by mainstream science, whatever that is. These beings belong to the study of cryptozoology, which relies heavily on folklore, local myths, and anecdotal witness accounts rather than hard physical evidence. So,
you, sir, are hard physical evidence.
Well, I am, being a Sasquatch and everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've put that one to bed straight out of the gate here.
But still, you've never seen me.
Well, that's true.
Denton's never seen me.
Yeah. Okay, so you could be a figment of my demented imagination then.
That is very possible. Just don't think about me like in weird ways.
I'm not into that.
Well, good. I'm glad. It makes me feel better. So if you don't know, on X, that's where I advertise the show mostly. But you can do this thing where you can take polls. So I decided to take a poll about cryptids. And what my poll post said was, what would you rather run into in the dark night in the forest? An alien, a Bigfoot, or an evil fairy? And this is what it came out to. 42.9% said an alien, 42.9% said a Bigfoot, and 14.3% said an evil fairy.
This is what you would like to run into or not like to run into?
No, what would you rather run into if you ran into a cryptid?
Oh, I would go for, running into my pal Sasquatch, of course.
Well, yeah, of course, that'd be cool. But I know you like the aliens too, so
I'd give aliens I do enjoy.
I'd give it to you if you went to see an alien. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I don't want to see any kind of fairies, evil or not.
Yeah, I don't know why I put evil fairy. I don't know what I meant by that, and I don't even know what an evil fairy would be. But I needed something to round out the list, so evil fairy it was.
Would that be like that Carmelo Anthony guy?
An evil fairy, maybe.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to jump into it here, and what I've done is I've gotten. Well, I jumped into the cryptid well, I guess you could say, or down that rabbit hole. And there's stuff in here that I didn't even know existed. There are a bunch of cryptids that are just weird. I mean, it's not your typical. We'll talk about the typical ones too, like aliens and Bigfoot and stuff like that. But we'll start out here with the Loveland Frog Man. I guess this is a 3 to 4 foot tall creature with leathery frog-like head and face, spotted near rivers in Ohio. He resembles an upright bipedal frog originating in Loveland, Ohio, near the Little Miami River. The tales date back to initial reported sightings in 1955 and 1972. In 1955, a traveling sales businessman was driving late night near Little Miami River. He claimed that he saw the 3 to 4 foot tall frog-like creature crouched or standing by the side. Well, which was it? Crouched or standing by the side of the road with an allegedly holding a wand-like stick that emitted sparks. All right, he had a sparkler.
Well, he's like the Harry Potter of the cryptid world.
Maybe. I guess in 1972 there were 2 sightings. These were cops. 2 Loveland police officers reported separate encounters weeks apart. One officer saw a crouching animal on the side of the road that scrambled over a guardrail into the river. A second officer fired at a similar creature, later concluding it may have been an escaped tailless pet iguana. Now that begs the question, if it was somebody's escaped tailless pet iguana, why would you shoot at it?
Well, why would you shoot at something you don't know what it is in the first place?
Well, exactly. It may be some drunk guy crawling around on the ground.
Yeah.
A drunk midget.
In the 70s were a weird time, you know.
Yeah, you got away with stuff back then that you don't get away with now.
Yeah, and I mean, people were doing crazy stuff back then, like dressing as tailless pet iguanas.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, did you see that thing with that kid that dressed up like Chucky or something, was chasing people around a parking lot?
I saw it. I didn't read it.
I didn't read it either, but it's like, dude, that is not a smart thing to do these days.
No, not at all.
You get yourself an extra hole put in you.
Yeah. So getting back to the frogmen here, I'm wondering, this was obviously before all the Haitians went to Ohio. Do you think there's any frogmen left?
I don't know. They may be roasting them over a spit. Who knows?
Yeah, frogmen go with cats, I hear.
Yeah, true. I mean, I went to our county fair recently, and they were selling frog legs there, so I would guess they sell them in Ohio, too, for the Haitians.
Oh, yeah.
One last thing about this frog man. He's become the city mascot, so apparently he's famous. The creature is embraced by the local municipality as the official city mascot, appearing on murals and merchandise around town. Well, all right, cool.
Well, you know, at least they're getting some benefit out of it.
Yeah, and I got the feeling that as we go along, we're going to see a lot of these are town mascots. So I'm guessing a lot of them got made up just to give the town a name. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's just a theory I have, but anyway. We got one right here in California, and why this creature would be from Fresno, I have no idea, because Fresno is not a fun place to visit. This one's called the Fresno Nightcrawler. He's an eerie, thin white apparition that appears to consist of only moving legs and no upper body. So think of a pair of pants with no torso.
And he's white.
And he's white. But
in Fresno.
In Fresno. There you go. I guess the first sighting was a homeowner. He saw strange movement on his security camera in 2007, where he gleamed two pale figures seemed to glide across the grass. The second sighting was a video from Yosemite National Park in 2011 that showed similar white leggy shapes. I guess he stands 4 to 5 feet tall. He's all white. Ideas range from alien visitors to forest spirits to puppets made from pajama pants. There is a picture, if you're watching on the YouTube, there's a picture of somebody made like stuffed dolls out of them, and they look like legs with eyes. It's pretty funny. The spooky yet silly looking look made it a massive meme and a fan favorite for the cryptid community. Local tourism groups sell stickers, and Build-A-Bear released an official posable plush toy of the creature. Well, see, there you go again. Tourism's getting benefits out of it. The Build-A-Bear company made a doll out of it. So, yeah, I got a feeling this is all crap.
Yeah, although, in the Yosemite Park, I mean, they've got all kinds of crazy stuff going on in Yosemite.
That is true. I don't know. Maybe some of the other creatures there wear the wear the pant creature for pants. I don't know.
Who wears the pants in your family?
Yeah, exactly. Who wears the what is this thing called? Let me look real quick. I forgot. Oh, who wears the Fresno night crawlers in your family?
Yeah.
All right. Our next one that's just kind of weird is Mantis Man. Have you ever heard of Mantis Man?
I have not.
Well, this is a 7-foot-tall insectoid praying mantis creature reported by fishermen along a river in New Jersey. Now, isn't that where they have the Mothman?
They have the Mothman in New Jersey. They've got the Montauk Monster is not far from New Jersey, plus all those UFO sightings. New Jersey's like a hotbed for weird stuff.
Yeah, maybe they got some kind of weird magnets under New Jersey or something that attracts them all there.
I think it's the chemicals.
Is New Jersey where the what was that called? The Tunnel of Love was? Do you remember that?
I don't know about that.
The Tunnel of Love was like a toxic. They had some kind of nuclear thing there that leaked into the river, and I can't remember if it was.
No,
New
that was
York.
the Love Canal.
The Love.
That was,
there you go. Yeah, was that Jersey?
yeah, that was upstate.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was Jersey or New York.
Yeah.
Anyway, this mantis man, he's described as a 7 to 8 foot tall, dark green or brown with folding praying mantis arms, large eyes, and sometimes semi-transparent skin. He's very skittish and quick to flee, unlike other aggressive monsters, ranging from hoaxes to misidentified wildlife to interdimensional visitors or mutant escapees. Cave Johnson, I guess that's this guy's name, jokes about human test subjects injected with praying mantis DNA who turn into mantis men.
This is kind of like that movie, The Fly.
Yeah, a little bit, I guess, but a mantis must have got in with the guys in that's a cool movie, though, The Fly.
Yeah, the Brindle Fly. Yeah, that was awesome.
Every Halloween, every October, starting on October 1st, I watch a scary movie every night, all the way through the month. And one I always have to revisit is The Fly, because the Brindle Fly is just, it's an awesome movie, especially when he starts throwing up on the guy.
That is definitely one of the classics.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah.
I've been, my Halloween movies generally consist of the Evil Dead series.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
And I didn't realize it, but they actually made a TV show out of that.
Yeah, and they started a new series of movies, too, which I wasn't too crazy about. But the series with Ash is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So
it was a little more risque than the movies, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun. All right, so what do we say about Mantis Man? Do we believe he's real?
I'm going to say that he's definitely real New Jersey.
Even if he's not real anywhere else. In New Jersey, he's definitely real.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, this one's weird. I'm just going to run through it real quick just because it's so weird. His name is Trunco, which is just a weird name in general. You'd think it'd be like Native American or something, but I don't even think it is. It's a massive marine cryptid described as a polar bear-like furry mass with an elephant-like trunk and no visible head or tail. The first sighting was 1924 when people witnessed a battle. Said the creatures fought 2 killer whales for 3 hours, leaping 20 feet out of the air. It later washed up on Margate Beach, measuring roughly 47 feet long, 10 feet wide, and 5 feet high. So yeah, that's Trunko. I
So
guess.
he's like a giant polar bear without a head.
No, I got pictures that'll be on the YouTube as well, and they're not, they're not photos. They're sketched, but it basically shows what looks like a whale, but no eyes, and it's got a trunk on the front, so it's really weird looking.
Okay, well,
Let's see. We'll just pass by here. Yeah, he's got a trunk. He's got fur. Oh, this one's a good one. I can't even say it, and it's going to sound like it's from India or something, but it's not. Dobhar Chew. It's actually an Irish mythical waterhound described as a giant otter-crocodile hybrid that is ferocious and aggressive.
okay, well, Ireland, have you ever dated an Irish girl?
I have not. I've known some Irish people, but I never dated an Irish girl.
Okay, well, I mean, you can believe anything if you've ever dated an Irish girl.
Sorry, I had to take a drink. All right, the Dobhar Chew is known as a waterhound or water dog. They also call it the king otter or Irish crocodile. It's a legendary aquatic creature in Irish folklore and modern cryptozoology. It is described as a ferocious hybrid of a dog and a giant otter, reaching lengths of 7 to 15 feet, and is said to inhabit remote lakes and rivers in Ireland. Known in the lore to be vicious, it's a carnivore that actively hunts humans. So,
Okay, well.
so when O'Reilly gets too drunk and falls off a cliff and dies, they just go, the
water dog got him.
the water dog got him. Right. Okay. Here's the historical sightings. In 1722, apparently, Grace McLaughlin, who was killed, he was killed by a Dobhar Chew at the Glendale Loft in County Leitrim. Her husband, Terence, she was attacked. The wife was attacked and killed. Her husband, Terence, tracked down and killed the creature, though its mate attacked him before he managed to slay it as well. On Grace's tombstone in Cornwall Cemetery, there's a depiction of the creature on her tombstone. Well, I guess that would make sense since it killed her, apparently.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah.
All right.
Just not much happens in that town if that's the most memorable part of her life, but hey.
Yeah. Oh, man. Never mind. I was thinking of something else. All right, let's move on. Oh, what about... Okay, so do you think this is a possibility, or do you think this one's just a story?
I think this is probably the work of Guinness.
Not the book, the drink.
The drink, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a kind of thinking that maybe some bad potatoes and a little too much Guinness, and all of a sudden you got water dogs.
Yeah, very true. That's possible. Are you a Guinness drinker, or have you ever had Guinness?
I've had it, yeah. I'm not a big fan, yeah, I've had it.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of think it's a little too thick and everything. I enjoy a good Guinness every once in a while, but it's okay here. But in Europe, it's much better.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because it's fresher or what, but it tastes better over there.
Okay.
So,
well.
I don't know. All right. Next up is the Mongolian death worm. This thing is a lethal, bright red, subterranean worm-like creature said to spray acid and deliver electric shocks in the Gobi Desert.
This is Tremors.
Exactly. This is how they describe it. It sounds exactly like the what were they called, the something toids.
Yeah, the worms in the Tremors movies.
Yeah, exactly. The Mongolian death worm, or the Oligoi korehoi, is a legendary cryptid said to live in the hot sands of the Gobi Desert, described in local folklore as a bright red sausage-like creature measuring 2 to 5 feet long. It is fabled to kill people and animals using corrosive yellow venom or sudden electric shocks. Locals describe the creature as looking like a cow's large intestine, which is why it is called the oligoi-koi-koi. Some of these names,
Okay.
man. It has no head or legs, but features sharp spikes or a toothful mouth. Folklore claims it can spit deadly acid that rots things on contact or discharge electricity to drop targets from afar. Okay. What do you think of this one?
I think if they let them grow for a couple of years, they're going to be like remember the Tremors, I think it was Tremors part 4 or part 3.
All right. So, what do we say? This was caused by Guinness? Or no, that was the last one. We're talking
That
about.
was the last one. No, these Gobi death worms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when we cut out, I was saying that, you don't want to let them grow for a couple of years, because remember that Tremors part 3 or part 4 or whatever, and they started flying, and then they called them ass blasters, and they would shoot fire out their butts. Yeah, you don't want that.
No, definitely not anything flying, shooting fire out of its butt.
So yeah, you definitely want to find the survivalist and shoot the death worms.
Bert. Good old Bert.
Firepower or penetration.
Exactly. There's a movie made in the 80s, I think, called White Worm, and I think that might be what this is based off of, because it sounds exactly the same, and it has, God, what's that guy's name? Kyle MacLachlan, I think is his name, actor. But
Okay.
it's kind of a cool movie for, an 80s horror movie, but if you ever want to look it up, it's called The White Worm. Anyway.
Write that down.
All right, we're going to move on to, well, this section is entitled Ridiculous Cryptids, but I think we just went through a bunch of ridiculous cryptids.
I don't know. These were pretty, pretty mainstream. So let's get into the really ridiculous ones.
All right, first up we have the X monkey. And I'm not talking X like as in the website, but they call this one the X monkey. It is said to have been created in a lab. The scientist who created it is unknown, yet many people believe it was Albert Einstein himself, because he was always very uneasy when talking about it. The X monkey is about the size of an orangutan, and half of its face is robotic.
This is Fauci.
Oh, yeah, maybe it was. One of its eyes is robotic, so its eye is always glowing red. A slight fraction of Kenya has claimed to have seen it, and explorers have found a rundown lab in the middle of Kenya, and they found blueprints as well as a broken tank with hair stuck to it. The hair had orangutan DNA and artificial DNA. So, the X monkey.
Oh, half robot monkeys.
I think if I had to do it over again, I would make my handle on X monkey.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right. This one, all right, don't get offended when I tell you the name of this monster. It's called the Dildo Monster.
Hey. Can't wait to hear about this one.
Well, it's not what you're thinking. The Dildo Monster is a supposed monster that lurks underneath Dildo Pond in Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. In terms of ridiculousness, the Dildo Monster isn't much different than most other lake monsters, other than, let's just say, unflattering name. According to a couple that claimed to have seen it, it was claimed to be bigger than Ogopogo, which they gloated about, making it likely that it was an attempt to make Dildo Canada more recognizable. However, no further reports of the Dildo Monster were made, with visitors calling the concept odd for such a large creature to be in such a small lake. So again, sounds to me like somebody was trying to make their town more recognizable or more famous.
Sounds like the guy's wife was one happy customer.
Very possible. Next up is the Japanese hairy fish. They really need to learn to name these things better. The Japanese hairy fish is a mystery fish of Japan. It is said to have a scaly fish-like body, and its length is 4 to 5 feet with human-like hair on its head. So it's got a toupee. It's aggressive, and it emerges from water to fight or play. It emits loud cries. It's said to attack and kill humans by drowning them. It is said to live in an unspecified river in Japan.
Okay.
Like I said, some of these are just crazy. Next up is the Oviedo Dick Monster. Now, I know what
Put that with the Dildo Monster, and you got it going on.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. It's like I don't know, the same species, just a different breed of it or something. I don't know. But apparently, well, here you go. This explains everything. In Central Florida,
Florida man.
there you go, the town of Oviedo, only 15 minutes away from Orlando, there have been numerous reports and sightings of the alleged cryptid. This creature is said to stand 7 feet tall when fully erect. Oh, da-dum-dum. It has a long phallus-shaped body and 2 round legs, thus the name Dick Monster. Most sightings take place at night in the woods of the Stillwater neighborhood, where many teenagers go to smoke cannabis. As a matter of fact, all sightings have been from teenagers who were stoned while they saw it. Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah. I think we can put that one to bed.
Yeah,
Sorry for the pun.
I think so. Let's see, what else we got here? All right, this one is... They really got to get somebody to come up with better names than this. Veggie Man. Maybe it was brought up by one of those people that only eat vegetables.
Oh, the vegans?
Yeah, the vegans. Maybe a vegan came up with this one. I don't know. Jennings Frederick would certainly agree because he allegedly met just such a being while hunting one day in West Virginia back in 1968. According to American paranormal researcher Brad Steiger, Frederick suddenly became aware of what he later described as a high-pitched jabbering, much like that of a recording running at exaggerated speed, yet which he could somehow understand, and which was informing him that it came in peace but needed medical assistance. At the same moment, Frederick saw beside him the extraordinary quasi-botanical entity described above with a semi-human face, long ears, yellow slanted eyes, and 2 stick-like arms. Before he had time to be surprised, however, he felt a pricking sensation in one of his hands as if it had become entangled in some thorns. But when he looked, he discovered to his horror that the entity was draining blood from his hand through his own fingers. Moreover, its eyes suddenly changed color, becoming bright red and yielding a rotating hypnotic effect that rendered its blood-sucking operation painless. A minute later, Frederick's enforced transfusion was over, and his mesmerizing recipient fled, bounding away rapidly up a hill, each leap covering a distance of 25 feet. Unfortunately for Frederick, however, once the entity had disappeared, the pain in his hand reappeared, and he set off back home. He heard a strange humming sound, which he believed to be the entity's craft, transporting it back to whence it came. Frederick was so disturbed by this grotesque experience that he did not speak about it for several months.
Okay. So the veggies are eating us now, huh?
I guess so. With fingers that have needles in them.
Okay.
Oh, and finally...
There's nothing more you can say about that one.
Not really. But we get to our final ridiculous cryptoid. We have one last ridiculous cryptoid. It is said there is a legend of a rough-shot-looking figure in Alabama who spends its time in one particular area yelling at kids to get off his lawn and terrorizing residents with long-winded stories that have nothing to do with anything. He is known as the Denton Gurgler.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've met him.
All right, the last one I made up. I have to admit it. But I think we should start calling Denton the Denton Gurgler.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. I don't even know what this one is. I guess I can just read it. It's long. I forgot I even put this one on the sheet. All right, here we go. There was nothing much happening in Jerome and Benno Lure. I can't even say their name. Lure's yard in Hamel, Minnesota on August 11th, 1948. It was noontime in the thick of summer, and the boys, 10 and 8, were idly playing when, as they later described it, something overhead caught their eye. They looked up, and their jaws dropped. Roughly 12 feet up in the air was a dull gray circular object about 1 foot thick and 2 feet in diameter, slowly descending between them. They stood transfixed as the object settled onto the ground, making a clattering sound like metal hitting metal. The object rested there a moment and then began emitting a high-pitched whistle that to the boys sounded like a tea kettle. It spun in place once and then shot up 20 feet into the air, hovering for a moment and ascending to 30 feet, maneuvering around tree branches and telephone wires in its path. Finally, it jetted out of sight. The boys grew up and moved on. Nothing came of their mysterious sighting, but the government preserved the report all the same, filing it away in a cache of documents it had already begun keeping of both civilian and military accounts of flying, hovering, blinking objects that appeared in the sky, skittering about, sometimes touching down and then vanishing back the way they came, just as Jerome and Benno's object had. After decades of secrecy, stigma, and sometimes silliness, like the conspiratorial tales about recovered spacecraft and aliens, it remains a place known as Area 51 in Nevada. The government has at long last begun taking things seriously. What used to be called UFOs now go by the name of UAPs, or unidentified anomalous phenomena, and they're being given full investigatory treatment.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
There you go. Aliens are real. UFOs are real. UAPs, I should say, are real.
Well, that was one thing I was kind of looking forward to when we moved down here to southeast Arizona, because if you look at a map, okay, and Roswell, New Mexico is to the east of us. Mm-hmm. The Superstition Mountains between Phoenix and Tucson are to the west of us. And if you were to take a ruler and draw a line going from the Superstition Mountains, where obviously the lizard people live in the Superstition Mountains, I mean, that's a known fact. And they have lizard people over there in Roswell. Mm-hmm. That line would go right past where I live.
Oh, wow.
Well, so one would think that I would have lizard people here, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, you would think so.
But I've not seen one.
Well, that's too bad.
And talking to the folks downtown and stuff, they just kind of look at me a little strange when I bring it up. So obviously they've never seen one either.
They're like, he's putting whiskey in his coffee again.
Yeah, at 7:30 in the morning. But yeah, it's I feel cheated.
Well, you should.
Yeah.
Living in that area, you should at least seen something.
Well, yeah. But so far, nothing.
I had one night I was out in my backyard and I saw... I live at the very bottom of a mountain. And up against... going over that mountain, I saw these lights. There were probably 8 of them, all in a row. And they were just all flying like the same speed. They're were separated by the same distance, and and they just all kind of flew until they got where I couldn't see them anymore, and I just thought, what the hell was that?
Did you ever find out?
No, I threw it up on X to see. I'll put the picture on the YouTube as well, because I took a picture of it. But people on X were like, "Oh, those are satellites." I'm like, I've never heard of satellites all being, exactly the same width or distance apart from each other. And I mean, I've seen satellites.
Yeah, we do get the SpaceX satellites, or what's his other company, the internet company that he's got.
Yeah, I can't even think of the name of it right now, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
We do periodically see those, and those are in a configuration similar to that, but they're further apart. They're quite a distance apart, actually.
Yeah. This one isn't so much about cryptoids, but I had to include it because it is unexplained. How something like this happens, but there's a reason I'm reading this as well. All right, a 9-year-old boy in New Jersey was found wandering a school district bus yard after he was left alone on the school bus while sleeping, according to his mother. Wanda Chandler said her son boarded the bus around 8 a.m. as usual for his summer school program. Chandler told WPVI that her son had attended summer school for 5 weeks without incident. When he apparently fell asleep during the ride, the bus driver reportedly did not notice the child was still on board and parked the bus at the district lot. Chandler says her son woke up, realized he was alone, and left the bus to wander the yard until he was found. Someone found him in the parking lot, asked him his name and age, took him inside, and that's how they discovered this whole thing had happened. She told the news station. No injuries were reported. Chandler expressed her concern about the incident and questioned how a child could be left behind unnoticed. The school district has not released an official statement. Now, the reason I bring this up is because this same thing happened when I was a kid, because I used to take the bus to and from school. And we had a kid. His name was Piyush. He was an Indian kid. And he worked the night window at his parents' motel. So he would come home from school and his parents would go to sleep, and he would, if I remember right, he was probably about 12, something like that. And he's working the night window. Well, he fell asleep on the bus in the very back one day because, going to school all day and then working the night window. And the bus driver did the exact same thing. She drove him. She drove back to the yard. She looked in the bus and saw nobody because he was laying down in the seat in the back. And she just locked everything up and went home. And he woke up at some point and went, "Where's everybody at?" But, they're supposed to walk the bus to kind of check for something like that. But apparently it happens more often than not because this is the second time I've heard the story, and I'm sure it's happened other times. But,
honestly, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's true. So if your kid never makes it home from school and he takes the bus, just make sure you go down to the bus yard and check the bus, because that's probably where he's at. But good old Piyush. I still remember his name, Piyush.
Working the night shift at the motel.
Yep. Oh man, I always felt bad for that kid, because it's like, dude, you go to school all day and then you come home and you got to work the night window at your parents' motel.
Yeah.
All right, we got that out of the way, so let's go to weird news.
It's time for Weird News.
With Denton and Sasquatch.
Okay.
I'm calling this one the Hand of God. 16 people incarcerated at the Grafton Correctional Institute in Ohio were hospitalized after a lightning strike hit the facility as individuals were returning from their evening meal. The incident occurred about 30 miles southwest of Cleveland, while those inside the prison were moving between buildings during a severe thunderstorm, according to the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation. Authorities initially reported that 8 people were injured, but later updated the number to 16. All 16 were taken to outside hospitals for treatment, with one person airlifted due to the seriousness of his condition, As of Wednesday morning, 9 of the injured had returned to Grafton Correctional Institution. 7 remained hospitalized, 1 in serious condition, and 6 in stable, non-life-threatening condition. No deaths or staff injuries were reported. Now, I don't know. Was God just doing us a favor, or?
Well, I'm kind of thinking, yeah.
But I mean, nobody died, so I guess that's a good thing. But really,
Well,
really,
depending on what they were in the can for, yeah.
yeah, I suppose so. Maybe they were just all. Maybe it's just a wake up call for all of them.
It could be.
All right, this next one in weird news is this is definitely it's not a cryptoid, but it's definitely a weird story about something weird. A teenager has been dubbed Pond Boy, as he spent most of the last 5 years submerged in a body of water. Iqbal Shiki, I think that's how you say it, from Murshid.
Parents had a sense of humor, huh?
Who did?
His parents.
Yeah, apparently. He's from Murshidabad, India. All right.
Okay.
And he's a big old fat kid, because I got pictures of him on the YouTube as well. But he has a mysterious skin condition, which means he often feels a burning sensation. His family has tried everything, from taking him to several hospitals to visiting traditional healers. Unfortunately for the 16-year-old, nothing seems to work. So he got plonked into a pond while his family hoped for the best. Remarkably, this water-based technique seems to be doing the trick, which is why Iqbal has been pond-bound for the last half a decade. The cooling waters provide a great deal of relief for the kid, who also gets to lollop around next to some lily pads all day. Clips emerged recently showing Iqbal chilling in his pond, eating some snacks, and I got pictures on the YouTube. According to Gulf News, although no one has been able to diagnose his illness, there could be hope on the horizon. Iqbal's plight has been picked up by one of the richest people in India, Anant Ambani, who's reportedly taken interest in Iqbal, organizing the youngster's travel to Mumbai, where he can receive specialist evaluation. So, big fat kid, skin disorder, they plunked him into a pond. And the picture, just in case you don't get to see the YouTube, is him like half submerged in the water with like snacks. He's got like a bag of chips and some cookies or something. Just this big old fat kid in a pond.
Well, what else do you have to do if you live your entire life in a pond, right?
I guess, and I was wondering, is it like a Mr. Limpid thing where he's going to start turning into a fish?
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least in weird news, let me see. A teenager in Maumelle, Arkansas, played with a rather toxic teammate during a recent high school football practice. According to August 12th report from WBAL-TV, after playing for about an hour, the student brought his helmet to his coach, explaining that it felt unusual. Upon examination, the venomous cottonmouth snake was found hiding behind the padding. They called animal control, who had to submerge the helmet in water to get the snake out. I've removed snakes out of car vents, in engines, purses, backpacks, but in a helmet, never, Chris Davis, director of Maumelle Animal Services, said, adding that a bite could have been fatal to the boy. Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you had those are also the water moccasins, are they not?
yeah, the cottonmouths, yeah, I believe that's the same thing.
Yeah. So he had a water moccasin on his head.
Yeah, like underneath the pad that is on the top of, or the underside of the helmet that you wear, but it must have been like a baby or something, because there's not a lot of room in there.
No,
So that's pretty crazy.
that is.
All right, you got any cryptid stories or UFOs or anything you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I think we pretty much beat this one to death, did we not?
I think so. I just thought doing like weird ones would be funnier than, the Bigfoot that we all know.
Well, every now and again, we got to change things up a bit and keep it interesting for the folks.
Yeah, I agree.
And remember that, people. The Squatch here, he'll give you the email address, but send us ideas. What do you want us to talk about? This should be a two-way conversation between you and us. So
Yeah, exactly. And also, just so everybody knows, I am right now trying to figure out how to do like a chat. So during the show, if we can do it live and have a chat, then people can chime in to tell us what they think. But I'm very computer illiterate, so it's taken me a while to sort of figure this out. If anybody knows how to do it in a really easy way, email us and let me know. You can always email us sassandpals@pm.me. That would be sassandpals@pm.me. And if you want to go to the outdoor trading post, well, then I know who's going to let you know how to do that.
that would be theoutdoortradingpost.org.
You want to tell them?
Just a website where we all kind of hang out and talk smart and tell lies.
Yeah, in fact, just today, one of the guys said something, and I told him, I don't know, I said something about his wife. And, yeah, it didn't go too well. But anyway. All right, make sure that you are thankful for every day God has given you. Help each other whenever you can. Stay safe, and don't take crap from anyone. Remember, we are doomed. So have yourself a blessed day, and we will see you.
Have a good week, y'all.